Hold on. Hold on. So this is take two. I keep seeing the face of Angelette White. She looked really confused. By the time I got to the 16th floor, she and a Caucasian woman were coming out of the office as though they were coming from a meeting, and whatever information she had received really had her confused. So I said, "Hi, I think I missed my filing deadline." And she was like, yes, it was June 14th. And there's going to be a report sent to Tallahassee for lack of filing if you don't file the reports. I said, well, I was dropping off in this little inner office box the report that said I was receiving $0 for the campaign because I was going to pay out of my inheritance money when I received it. And her confused look makes me think somebody went to fill out the paperwork, finish my paperwork because it was already filled out. It was in the orange car that Lawrence gave me sitting on Mohawk in Ray's yard. So when I saw that little white girl that lives with Veronica Davis come by Dr. Twiggs's building like 3 days in a row, I said to Angola, something's going on. And I figured they were over there at the car, but that was a really rough spot and I didn't have anything to protect myself with. So I prayed, but I said, Lord, I'm not going over there. And true enough, by the time we made it to the car for me to give Ray the $10, I gave him a $10 donation to park in his yard. I don't know if that was a setup. I really thought it was just a blessing from God, but they took a lot out of the car. And that was one of the things that was stolen out of the car, the gray folder that had my declaration of the running for school board. And Aset was going to be my secretary treasurer, and she hadn't got her letter notarized yet. So that was one more thing that I needed to do. And I'm wondering if one of y'all were bold enough to go down to the supervisor of elections and perjure yourself fraudulently as a candidate for school board in my stead. And I'm trying to think who has that kind of boldness. Ava, I just saw you in a dream in a beautiful, really sharp red suit. Looked like Ann Taylor. The dress was the same length as the jacket. You had on some pearl earrings and your face looked nice and full and your belly area looked thin. You looked like you had a waistline. So I want y'all to know that these Caucasian people are really serious about fraud and identity theft. And if you get caught up, don't go around in life blaming me, because just like I decided to run for school board, you could have decided to run for whatever, go do the research, find out what it takes, instead of y'all doing spell work to make sure that I can't run. I can't be an influential person in the life of America. You could have worked on your own goals, visions, and dreams. Even if you wanted to mimic me and steal my goals, visions, and dreams, do it in your name. Don't pretend to be me. That's all I'm saying. So is there anything more I need to say about the visit to the Supervisor of Elections office on July 19th in the year 2024? I made a couple of videos for the children about not quitting, and I told them what Les Brown said. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly until you get it right. And I was there and I showed my little socks and sandaled feet. I had on shorts. I had been exercising, and where I sat at the park had some kind of black, maybe mold or something on the wooden tree, the wooden stoop, and it got on my pants. And I was working in the yard, picking up trash and just pulling the yard together before God said, go now. And I was like, God, I got to go take a bath. I got to change clothes. I got to look presentable. God said, go now. And it was 4:44 when I said that. And I obey God now, because if I don't, I get a lot of hard times. And Angelie White was looking at me so confused. She's like, well, we didn't get any of your, we didn't get any reports, and there's 15 reports that I need to submit because I did this back in 2022. So I was going to do a 2-year every month, just say, hey, I'm Aileen Atkins. This is why I want to go vote for school board. I've been through this. I've been through that. I've been through this. I've been through that. I survived it all. I have grit. And your children can learn a lot from me, and you can learn a lot from me. So that was going to be part of my platform. But whenever I went to submit the little YouTube shorts, God said, no, no, no. And God knows the future, so I listened to God. Okay, so there was something else about me being there that I wanted to point out. I don't know. Should I say that? No, I shouldn't say that. Okay. So she said she was going to resend me my credentials. And so I had to update a new phone number and update a new address. So I successfully did that. And I'm really looking forward to finding out what's going on in the background. When I entered the building, they said, oh, well, where are you trying to go? And I said, supervisor of elections. So I let them know off rip where I was going. However, the elevator stopped on the 13th floor, and God said, go out and go ask to speak to Cindy Stewart about the corruption that's occurring in the clerk's office. And Cindy Stewart was not in, of course, and her assistant who handles her calendar, Christine Nappi, Nappi, she was not in, and she wasn't going to be back until Monday. They didn't know when Cindy Stewart would be back in. So I decided to just handwrite a memo, not try to cover everything, just a couple of important things, not go over a 1-page handwritten memo, and get out of there. So I spent a little bit of time with Julian, trying to ask him, is there somebody here that can stamp and receive something? And he was like, what kind of stamp? We don't do that. You mean over there at the clerk's office? I said, no, I'm not filing any pleadings or motions. I want to leave a memo and get it stamped that it was received into this office. And they were like, no, we don't do that. So I ended up giving Bobby, that's his nickname, Russ, my memo. He made me a couple of copies. Thank you very much. And a lot of people came out to kind of look and gawk. I was sitting in their reception area and listening to Made for Me by Money Long. That's one of the songs I use to calm myself down when voices in my head are trying to disturb me or dissuade me or confuse me. So I successfully made 2 points of contact. Well, was that successful? I don't know what ended up with the memos. My other complaint for Cindy Stewart was I go to the supervisor of elections office, I submit things to the clerks, and I am certain that they did not give them to the judges. And that interfered with my business and interfered with me getting justice. And that's a problem. So that problem needs to be fixed. Did I cite Tamika Jones? Tamika Jones turned Tamika Suttle, Suttle, or Suttel, and Myronica being two of the major persons that were denying me justice by, not forwarding my correspondences, I'll say, to the judges. I want to cast judgment on everybody in the clerk's office in the courthouse who intentionally, maliciously denied me access to justice. Thomas O'Manzi, you keep coming up in my mind's eye. When I come up to the 6th floor to deliver something for Chief Judge Ronald Figueroa and Court Administrator Rick Melendi, you're sitting there in your nice crisp white shirt, always very professional. But what do you do with my memos and my correspondences when you go through that door and you tell me you're giving them to Christy? The reason I'm asking this is because you disappeared for a while and then you reappeared. Most of the time when that happens, that person has done something illegal, unethical, and malicious. I cast judgment on you too. May whatever you did to me return to you 100-fold. May you reap what you sow. All of you guys. God sees all.